What's going on YouTube? It's Tyler from Mission VR, where it's my mission to bring you guys good quality VR content. So today we are going to be talking about 5 upcoming VR RPG games, and if you're an RPG fan, you definitely want to pay attention to this list because there are some pretty quality games coming up, and who doesn't like a little role playing in VR? So if you guys like this type of content, please drop a like on this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm bringing a ton of VR reviews, upcoming VR related games and content, and I'm going to be doing a special series on my channel of VR trailers, which I'm going to be putting together some pretty cool montages for certain games or general genres of games, and putting that all together to some epic music and just really getting the community hyped about VR content, and hopefully getting some flat screen gamers to invest, because VR is most definitely the future of gaming. So without further ado, let's hop on into this with our number 5 pick. Alright guys, with the first VR RPG on this list is Ilysa, a multiplayer online VR RPG set in an open world where players will be able to travel alongside of one another and quest. This game looks pretty promising. It offers a lot of things that, quite frankly, RPG players are looking forward to. First thing and foremost, it does have full index controller support, which is going to be a pretty exciting feature if you're playing on an index. But they're talking about having hundreds of hours of questing, exploring, and hunting in massive open world environments, and each of these environments will have complete freedom of movement, and that includes climbing of trees, rocks, buildings. You name it, you're able to climb it, you're able to explore this world, you're able to explore the hidden caves, dungeons, and there will be world bosses that they are calling guardians, and you will be able to play with plenty of other players. So this definitely looks like kind of a VR MMO RPG, and it's definitely something to keep your eye on if you're in the RPG market. There is some planned PvP, they're looking at daily quests, and they have a unique caravan system, which you're going to be able to have your own caravan, which is going to travel with you and have your gear and be able to be customized, and it's going to be kind of an interesting little tidbit to this game that's definitely going to be something to keep you wanting to play and upgrade your caravan. Now they're also asking for a control of airships, which is pretty cool if you ask me, to be able to control your own airship, and you're going to be able to collect pets and apparently have rideable mounts. So this game definitely looks pretty promising, and the combat so far looks pretty decent, even though it's early access, and it's definitely one to keep your eye on if you're looking for an MMORPG or just an RPG in general that you want to play with your friends. So with the next game on this list, we have a bit of an interesting pick, and that is Ancient Dungeon VR. And it is a VR roguelite dungeon crawler, and that definitely appeals to a lot of people. I know myself, I personally love dungeon crawlers, and you throw roguelite in there, it definitely is pretty exciting because, every run's going to be different than the last, and I think that that's a game that creates a lot of replay value. Now, this game definitely falls short on the graphics side of things, but in VR, this is one of those titles that, it's going to change your whole way of thinking when it comes to being in that world. I know I've played Minecraft in VR and other blocky type titles like this, and really your brain tricks itself into thinking that you're part of that universe. So you really don't notice it as much as you would think, but this is definitely one to keep your eye on, because we're talking about randomly generated dungeons, and the deeper you go, obviously, the harder it gets. And, there really is no end to it. You're just going to keep going and survive for as long as you can, and obviously the further you go, the better your loot and upgrades are going to be. And so far it looks like this game is going to offer a ton of different upgrades, from being able to upgrade your sword to a variety of different effects, to your shields, to your crit chance and your block chance and your shop discount. There's just all kinds of different interesting upgrades that they're going to offer that's going to allow you to really have fun in this game. Now the world, again, is the graphics are subtracting here, you're going to get the blocky graphics, but I'm hoping that, the developer, because they haven't sunk a ton of time into what the graphics look like, that the rest of the world and the actual dungeons themselves have tons of interactability, which they are saying it is an interactable world. You're going to be able to destroy walls and destroy vegetation, and there's going to be a ton of different enemies, and it looks like there is a pretty fast-paced and well-organized combat system that you're going to be going up against. It's not going to be just kind of real slow and just swing your weapon once or twice. It looks like the enemies are kind of physics-based combat to some extent, and I think that that's definitely an interesting factor of this game. Now they're promising boss fights and, a load of other things that are going to come in the future. This is definitely one that if you're into dungeon crawlers and you're definitely into roguelite games, definitely keep your eye on this one, especially if you can get past the Minecraft style graphics. I think this is going to be one that you're going to enjoy, and I'm definitely hoping that they add multiplayer because roguelite dungeon crawlers are always better with friends. So it's definitely one to keep your eye on. Alright guys, with the next game on this list we have Dragon Extinction VR. It's a fantasy set RPG that has a unique graphic style, and it's looking like it's going to have some pretty promising features in it. Some of those features are going to be obviously collecting of items and loot, and they're going to have a tiered class system, which is pretty good considering you're going to be able to keep coming back for more. They're going to have common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary class loot, which again is something we all crave for in an RPG game, is going in and dropping into a dungeon that's really hard and coming out with that epic or legendary weapon or armor set. It's something all of us love to do, and doing it in VR is clearly better. So this game is promising 4-person multiplayer, and it definitely is kind of giving me Monster Hunter vibes in VR, which I'm really hoping they go for, with obviously some fantasy-esque, dungeon elements to it. But I definitely hope that, you get to fight these big dragons and these big bosses at the end of these dungeons, or however they're going to plan it out. And there isn't any gameplay out there for it right now, but the initial screenshots they have of the game look pretty good. You're going to be able to upgrade your weapons and armor. There's going to be a bunch of different biomes. You're going to be able to mine and gather and customize your character, and there's procedural dungeons in it. So I think that this game is definitely one to keep your eye on and look for that first trailer as you're going forward. Alright guys, so with the next game on this list is a bit of a really exciting one, and that is Undead Citadel. Now, if you are a Dark Souls fan, like myself, which the Dark Souls series happens to be my favorite series of games I've ever played, this game is going to scream for you because it looks like Dark Souls in VR, and it's honestly going to be pretty crazy, and I'm very much looking forward to this game. There's a hybrid physics combat system, which is definitely going to add to the replay value of this, as it's going to be quite challenging whenever you're dealing with different enemy types that have, different levels of armor, different characteristics, and it's going to be probably pretty challenging like Dark Souls, and I'm hoping that, there are epic boss fights just like Dark Souls, and this game pretty much is Dark Souls in VR was what really I'm hoping for, and I'm sure many others are hoping for too. But so far this game is promising to have over 60 hand-to-hand combat weapons, and that includes a range of swords, axes, two-handed weapons, you name it, it's going to be there. Bows and arrows and explosives for range attacks. They haven't mentioned anything really about magic yet in the game, but there is some potions that are going to allow you to alter certain things, freeze and slow motion potions, and a variety of other things that I'm sure they're going to be announcing in the future. There's going to be a bunch of different enemies to fight, and a story mode, which is pretty exciting, to get a game like Blade and Sorcery and Hellsplit Arena with a story mode. I know that's a lot of what people are craving with these physics-based combat games, and this game is hoping and praying to deliver on that promise. So there's also a horde mode, which definitely is going to be replay value central, especially considering how much replay value Hellsplit Arena and Blade and Sorcery already have without all these other features that this game is promising. So I definitely think that that's going to be a pretty exciting feature of this game, and you're going to obviously be able to collect your weapons in an armory and be able to really kind of build your character out for what you desire as you're going against hordes of the undead. This is going to be a game that is highly on my watch list, and if you are into RPGs and you're into Dark Souls, you should absolutely be looking forward to this game. And right now it's slated for Q3 of 2020, and it's definitely one to keep your eye on. Alright guys, and with the last game on this list, we have Pieces of 8. This is a VR open world pirate RPG, and it definitely has some pretty interesting features that they're planning on adding to this game. Now, as of right now, there is some pre-alpha gameplay that is out, which is being shown on the screen, and It's pretty janky, but that's just because it's pre-alpha, and it was actually filmed 2 years ago, and they originally had the release date for this game late 2020 to early 2021, and that right now is in progress, so we will see when this comes out, but they are promising a massive open world filled with NPCs, towns, caves, and quite frankly, this game gives me a massive Assassin's Creed Black Flag in VR vibe to it, which we all can agree Black Flag was a pretty fun game and one that no one was really expecting to be as good as it was. So they're promising the ability to jump into this world with your friends, and you're going to be able to climb and jump from obstacle to obstacle, which is, you know, something we've all wanted to do, is swing off of the rope at the top of a pirate ship in VR onto an enemy pirate ship and start shooting and swinging swords around. I mean, come on, that sounds like a really good time in VR, and you throw in the, you know, RPG aspects that they're talking about having in this game, and the good world environments and the dynamic weather system that they're planning on adding. I mean, this is definitely Assassin's Creed Black Flag in VR, which is, again, pretty exciting, and anybody who's into A, RPGs, and B, pirate games, this is one that you're going to want to immediately put on your wish list, as the moment it comes out, you're probably going to want to hop into this with your friends and really enjoy the scenery and enjoy plundering some loot off of enemy ships. Well guys, that is it for this video. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below if you guys have a VR RPG game that I did not list on this list that you are excited about. And also hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing a ton of videos here, bringing you guys a couple videos a week, all VR related content when it comes to, you know, games, first impressions, reviews, trailers, you name it, I'm going to be talking about it. So hit that subscribe button and like this video, and I will see you next time.